Every year, MLB Network puts together their top 10 right now at each position across the diamond in Major League Baseball. And I have been following suit here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast, bringing you my own top 10 right now at each one of those positions. I now have the privilege to be working with a tremendous team, and we're going to be bringing you our thoughts and our individual top 10 right now. We want to hear from you down in the comment section below. Who are your top 10 right now at each position? So now we're going to begin with our list. And we are back at it once again, bringing you our top 10 right now. And we're looking at the top 10 left fielders in the game today. And to join me, I have none other than Roman Rodriguez. What's going on, Rome?
Doing good, Jay. Thanks for having me. You know what? It's good to have me because I was thinking, I'm probably the most out of left field mind that you have on staff for Baseball Banter Broadcast, the B3. So might as well bring me in for left fielder. Just
it makes sense. Everything comes full circle here.
It really does. It really does. And then finally, it's at my pace when it comes back to me.
So as we get started here, looking at number 10, who you got at number 10, Rome?
All right, so number 10, I actually got a platoon because I figured might as well have at least one platoon, seeing that there's a lot of teams out there that do the platoon, so might as well bring up at least one person that does it. So I'm going to go with Toronto's platoon of Davis Schneider and Nathan Lucas. Now, Lucas is going to be the left-hander. Schneider is the righty. Together, they had a 3.1 WAR, B-WAR, that's baseball reference WAR for those kids at home still trying to learn the lingo. You're welcome. So Schneider, not so much on the right side, but Lucas is really the guy that really did matter. Lucas, who's finally had 400 at-bats finally, at 30 years old, bounced around. He only had 42 games in left field, but he was still pretty sharp. So my number 10 is the combination of Schneider and Lucas. Who you got for number 10?
Yeah, so coming in at number 10 for me, it's one of the newest additions to the American League East, and it's that of Taylor Ward of the Baltimore Orioles. I think that when you look at what his profile is, I think this was such a key and underrated move by the Orioles to bring Ward in. I think that the power profile is really going to play well in Baltimore. And to be completely honest, I would not be surprised if they bring that wall in left field a little bit more to support his power stroke a little bit more than what we've already seen. But I think that when you look at what he means in terms of this position across Major League Baseball, is one of the best in the game right now, and that's why he makes number 10 on my list.
I absolutely agree. Ward will be making an appearance on my list a little bit lower, but if you look at what he did in Anaheim, he's very underrated. When doing the list, I started with looking at who had the best fielding percentage in all Major League Baseball for left fielders. I went to Baseball Reference and I saw the fielding percentages for left fielders, and which is funny because the Orioles were, I believe, number 9 out of the top 10, just with Cowser and Kirsten alone, which were not the strongest representatives. But when you add Ward to the mix, because Ward made the Angels, I believe, number 4 in fielding percentage, just off the top of my head. So when you add him to the mix in Baltimore, it's very good. I actually fought with putting him higher on my list, but it's right now, and he's a little bit older, so that's maybe where we're at. Speaking of guys who are older but still have a lot, I know Yankee fans will know this one. Harrison Bader. Harrison Bader for the Twins. He's still out there. He can be yours where the price is right. But Harrison Bader is a strong, consistent at bat. Not very overwhelming in terms of the WAR, but he still has a lot of attributes and does not supply too bad of a left field, especially when he was in Minnesota last year. And I know personally he killed the Rays a few times. I believe 2 straight walk-offs, I believe, when they were on the road during that 7-19 swoon, which, thanks to therapy and a couple of name brand items, has really helped me forget. So that's my number 9. Who do you got, bud?
So coming in at number 9 for me, I have Tyler Soderstrom of the Homeless Athletics.
Okay.
think that this is going to be a guy. We saw him go on a very hot streak to get the year started in 2025, and then things kind of tailed off. I think the A's really weren't sure what they had with him in terms of giving him that run to be the everyday guy.
Sure.
We just signed a big extension with the A's, so I think that they're going to give him that longer look in left field, and I think that what he's capable of providing offensively is going to be something that is going to be really impressive for the team overall. And for me, he comes in at number 9.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, no, Soderstrom is someone who's impressed me, and he will definitely make another appearance on the list a little bit later. But yeah, I like a lot of them. Let's go ahead and go with number 8. Number 8 was a surprise to me because I thought he would have been much higher at first glance. But that's Riley Green. And the reason why I have him so low, Detroit, please calm down. Just everybody calm down. Hey, come on, breathe. Breathe. I'm looking at you. I won't start until you stop. Okay, good. So Riley Green, let's go ahead and get back to it. He killed the Rays, so I thought he was a lot better. Then when I actually looked at his stats, especially the second half season, he kind of cooled off, in my opinion. And which is strange because Detroit Tigers had the best fielding percentage for all of fielders. So when you take a look at his numbers, I don't know how he did it because he wasn't strong in any particular field, but he had a lot of good things and he's very solid. So at first I had him number 1, just thinking, okay, if the fielding percentages are anything, Riley Green, and because he killed the Rays, I was absolutely fine with that. And then when I looked at it, I'm like, I don't know if I can put him number 1. So he kept on moving down. So, and then I was shamelessly bribed. We'll get to that. We're at my number 5. So, yeah. But Riley Green, here you go. So that's my number 8. Who you got?
Yeah, so my number 8, and this might be a little bit of annoyance more than anything else, but it's Cody Bellinger from the re-signing with the New York Yankees. It took all off season, but that's another story for another time. When you look at what Cody does, his biggest asset is his versatility, being able to play all 3 outfield spots, being able to play first base, and play at a Gold Glove caliber level, right? I think that, offensively, he's had some peaks and valleys, and obviously the last, 3-4 years, when you look at his time with the Cubs and the Yankees, it's been a good year, a bit of a down year, a good year, a bit of a down year, and that swoon is coming towards a down year, right? If the trend continues. So
sure,
it's going to be interesting to see kind of how the season plays out for him, especially with how long it took him to get signed this offseason. I think that, is also going to play a factor in it. Obviously, he signed well before spring training, so more than likely he's been working and putting himself in a position to be successful to get started and try and have a hot year. But I think with all the back and forth, the way that it played out with him this offseason, and he went back to the Yankees, in my opinion, simply because it was musical chairs and he ran out of chairs. We saw the Mets make the move for Luis Robert. The Dodgers picked up Kyle Tucker. So a lot of the pieces and teams that were being mentioned and rumored with him were kind of MIA at that point, right? The Red Sox, who were a team that was in on him potentially at first base, picked up Wilson Contreras. So he started to lose options, and that to me is why he then caved into the Yankees as far as not giving that extra time on the deal. But to me, that also means now he has to go out and really make an impact this year. And I'm just not sure that, based on the way his track record is playing, that it's going to be as high a level as he potentially could have been on this list. And that's why he comes in a little bit lower for me, but at number 8.
Okay. And Bellinger, again, is going to be someone who will make another appearance a little bit later. He is somebody that I hated seeing for the Yankees this year. And for him to be back in the Yankees, I don't like it at all. And if you guys get a chance, check out the Bronx Muchachos. You guys covered it at length, all areas of it, which is very good, but it's kind of like watching a bunch of adult actors talk about if your significant other went into the adult industry, watching them talk about how they're going game plan. However you guys choose to take that joke is on you. But yeah, so definitely the Bronx Muchachos covered it very well. And congratulations, but we'll probably talk about him a little bit more. Number 7 is somebody that we talked about earlier, Taylor Ward for the Orioles. Now, because he has always been, in my opinion, someone who's been incredibly underrated. I think one of the reasons is because he plays in the West Coast for the Angels, and they have not really done much in the playoffs. Pretty much like Ohtani and like Trout, essentially just kind of wasted for better or worse. And Taylor Ward, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be much better in Baltimore this year, but who knows? We'll see. They could have an uptick. There could be a lot of things, but that's just my take. But yeah, Taylor Ward, I think is a very strong, solid baseball player all the way around. Very solid defensively. Now he is getting older, so that starts becoming a bit of a factor. Granted, we're not talking 40 years old. We're talking 31, so he's still right in that prime. So Taylor Ward, number 7 for me. How about you?
Yeah, coming in at number 7 for me is another guy in the AL East, and that's Jarren Duran. At least at the time of this recording, he's still a member of the Red Sox, although he's been heavily shopped for quite some time. So whether or not he remains a Boston Red Sox, we'll wait to see. But when you look at what he does, man, the passion and the fire that this guy plays with now, we know when he first got brought up, there was, a bit of an issue, a bit of an incident in Fenway with not playing the ball well. And if anybody watched the Clubhouse on Netflix, you saw the struggles that he went through and stuff like that. But to see the way he's rebounded, the way he's kind of become a leader in that clubhouse amongst those young outfielders, and just the way that he plays with his hair on fire. I mean, this is a guy who's super uber aggressive on the base pass. You can't even pretend to bobble the ball a little bit, and this guy's going to make it safe. From first to second to third, doesn't matter what it is. And this is a guy who's really taken the next step in his career. And I think that it's only a matter of time before we start to hear his name mentioned a lot more frequently amongst the upper echelon of players in the sports.
Yeah. Duran is somebody who didn't make my list, but he is somebody that came close. The fielding percentages for the Red Sox were in the top 10, but that isn't necessarily completely on Duran's shoulders. That's also where they play. 81 games in Fenway, so a lot of the balls are getting hit. That's where line outs go to become home runs very quickly, depending on how much you pull it on both sides of the field. That's a pesky pull thing, and I could monologue on how much I love, and I use that in quotations, Fenway Park. But this is a guy who is, truthfully and honestly, a Rays fan. So I don't like Fenway Park as much as I don't like Yankees Stadium or Camden Yards or even Skydome or whatever we're calling it, Rogers Center, whatever. But so Duran, he's definitely a strong guy. Much respect for him. For all the reasons that you put in, he's definitely somebody, if he was on my team, I would like him a little bit better, but he's not, so I don't. So, good job on that one. So, number 6, it's been a minute since we talked about the Yankees, so let's talk about the Yankees. Cody Bellinger, one of the reasons why, even though he had a very strong WAR for me, which at first glance I thought he would be much higher. Then I started thinking, well, he's not a full-time left fielder. So I started looking at the platoon. At one point, I thought about bringing him up with Dominguez, kind of like I brought up on number 10. But Dominguez is not quite there. Obviously, you guys covered it profusely in Bronson Muchachos ad nauseum. Yeah, that's the second time. I promise I'm not being paid, unlike my number 5. So with Cody Bellinger, he broke my heart a few times this year for the Rays. He single-handedly, just like Chris Davis many years back for the Orioles, basically single-handedly took over games, and the Rays would have won if not for Chris Davis. And then I become Scooby-Doo. It's like I would have gotten away with not for your pesky Belly, one of those situations. So so Belly, to have him go back to the Bronx is going to be interesting in terms of the best left fielders right now. You got to include him because of his bat and how well he was doing, especially last year. Do I think he can repeat it? It's hard to say, especially being in Yankee Stadium with his swing. I was talking about Fenway. That's another place where line outs go to become 3-run home runs very quickly. or weak contact, where it would just be a fly out weak can of corn, and most ballparks go into the second deck suddenly. No harm, no foul. Yeah, I'm drinking the Haterade. You're welcome. But yeah, he returns the Evil Empire Light. Yes, I said Evil Empire Light because they're like LA, but with less calories. So you're welcome. So that's my number 6. So you got number 6, bud?
Oh man, so my number 6 is a guy you mentioned earlier, and it's Riley Green of the Detroit Tigers. Okay. I think that Riley is a guy who has all the makings of a potential superstar. I think that there is opportunity and time for him to kind of take that next step and kind of continue that maturation of his game. If he's able to find that and remain healthy for a full season, playing 150, 155 games, I think we could see him take his game to the next level and see him climb up higher on this list. But a lot of it is going to come down to health and more so and consistency with him. So if he can kind of put it all together and remain healthy for a full year, I think Green could be a really interesting candidate, especially at this position.
So let's take a pause. So do you think there's more? Because I thought about it and I was trying to look at the game of Riley Green, because I was trying to weigh on, is this the best of Riley Green? And I am almost sliding to maybe it might be the best that we're seeing of Riley Green in terms of pitching, regression, and other things, injuries. I don't know if there's more to come. That's the question in my head. You feel pretty strongly that there's more to come on Riley Green?
Yeah, I think that there is. I think that when you look at, just kind of the ins and outs of the game, right? I think that, obviously we see young players come up, they start to get real hot, and then the league adjusts, right? And it's that adjustment back that I think is what allows a player to go to another level. And I think that we could see that happen for Riley Green. Sometimes it just takes getting a different voice in your ear, different coach, different teammates sometimes that can make all the difference in the world. And I think that we will see something more out of Riley Green. I don't think that we've seen the best yet. It may be wishful and kind of hopeful thinking for his career, but I think that there's still more there.
Okay. Yeah. It's just something that I kind of had a battle in my head talking about and trying to figure out where to put Riley Green. Because if he had more potential in me, I had no problem putting him a little bit higher like you. But against when I'm trying to think of them now, when I'm trying to think of, who's the best players now, he gets kind of passed up by a bunch of 30-year-olds who have more polish now. The 30s and young 30-year-olds then giving that spot to him. So it's very interesting, especially when we're talking about the younger guys coming up. He almost is in that weird stopgap or transitional champion, if you will, to use wrestling terminology, where he's there, but he's going to be like a thin Balor kind of situation where, he was champion for a minute, but we moved on. That was 10 years ago. So, there you go. I try to bring up wrestling wherever I can. Whenever you guys see me here, I'm going to give a lot of AL East hate and a lot of references to probably stuff that will make you blush, and also, wrestling. So you're welcome. You're welcome. So there's my scouting report on me. Number five, I will be honest with you folks, I shamefully sold out, and let me explain. So he is on my list, and yes, he is a Ray. Now, the Rays had the 7th best for a team that's supposedly going to be so horrible, which, FYI, if you look at the tea leaves, they're probably going to make some people look really stupid. I feel. But I thought the same thing last year, and go figure. But so they had the 7th best fielding percentage in all of baseball for left fielders. And this is when we had Christopher Morel and played 81 games in whatever the Georgia was. So you put this player in a dome for 81 games. Yes, his knees will probably break on him come 3rd season, but hey, we got good knees for at least 2 seasons, so high five to him. That's going to be Mr. Chandler Simpson. Now, truthfully, I had him at number 9 because I love his bat, I love his speed, I love his contact. His fielding is questionable. He has an issue with first reads, I feel, but he is so darn athletic and so darn fast. Even though he doesn't read it off the bat, he can catch up with the ball. Very similar to Carl Crawford. If you ever watch Carl Crawford, it looks like a kid learning to skate for the first time at times. Watch him in the outfield, because he moves wrong and then he just completely like forgets. To put it in other terms, if you guys remember the great movie Major League One with Wesley Snipes where he played Willie Mays Hayes, Carl Crawford is this guy that woke up literally in bed, realized that they're doing relays, jumps out and goes, oh, he's so quick that he can outrun the other guys who had a head start, and he came out of bed. That's how quick Carl Crawford was, and that's basically Chandler Simpson right there. So I have a number 5, and the reason being is we have a mutual companion that we appreciate, Mr. Coach. Of course, do you want to tell the story or should I?
Go for it.
All right, so I'll tell you. So Coach, I'm going to spare the impression because I don't want him to get upset. But he goes, he apparently, according to Jeremy, says, now, Jeremy, you tell Roman if he has Chandler Simpson any lower than number 5, that he will not get any sort of autograph from me, to paraphrase. I can be bought. So Coach, he has at number 5. There you go. That's my number 5. But do I feel that he is warranted? I could get behind it, and it's hard to say that when a guy had a .4 WAR, but he hit 295. He had OPS plus, I believe, of 90, which is, if you think about it, Christopher Morel had an 89 OPS plus. So, and Chris Morel got more of some wing time, and the reason being is he had a little bit more of a power bat. He had 295. I challenge you guys, and I said this last year when I first came on you guys, your program for the first time, the U12. If you guys take a look, U12 where you represent the USA, which by the way, he should be on Team USA for WBC for one of those open spots. But the U12, he carried the Team USA team. He was slapping the ball all over the place. He was really the fire starter, and he played a very strong center field. I don't feel that he's a center fielder yet. Maybe if his reads get better, but at left field, he's doing wonderful. So number 5, Chandler Simpson. Who do you got, bud?
So at number 5, I have Stephen Kwan of the Guardians. Much like you just spoke about, Simpson in his olden days. This is a guy who is a contact first type player. What he's able to do with the bat is something special. And you add in, high caliber defense on top of that. He's a solid base runner. Obviously of the 5 tool type of player. He's a little bit down in terms of the power tool. But outside of that, Stephen Kwan is one of the best in the game, and I think that when you look at what he is on the Guardians, it's often overlooked. I think that Guardian team as a whole is overlooked and kind of undervalued. But Stephen Kwan is a guy that absolutely can be plopped into any team and truly make them better with what he's capable of doing at the top of an order with his bat and his legs and his defense in the outfield. So he comes in at number 5 for me.
Yeah, and Kwan's probably going to make an appearance somewhere on my list coming up. Yep, that's right. We're getting pretty tight. So where's he going to be? I don't know. We'll tune in. But yeah, good, man. So my number 4, I didn't realize how well he did last year. And one of the reasons is because he's in the West Coast. One of the reasons he played for Seattle. And one of the reasons is I know his flaws of his game. But that's Mr. Randy Arozarena. Randy Arozarena, to be very honest with you, is an okay outfielder. And that's sometimes being nice. He's like John Stark of the left field. He'll make like the plays where he can put on the poster, but in terms of his all-around game, he's okay. He's not the greatest. But he had a 4 WAR, and that's worth a 4B WAR, the baseball reference WAR, Yeah, it's a whole thing, F-WAR versus B-WAR, so you're welcome. But he had a 4 WAR, which is his second best of his career. He's not one of the strongest left fielders, not one of the strongest fielders, and that's why he's number 4. And also, he's 31. So it's Cuban 31, so whether or not that might be 37, 38, it's hard to say. And I'm saying it as a kid who's half Cuban descent, so therefore don't yell at me, all right? Just saying. Half of me agrees with that. Half of me says that I really need to stick to the facts. So there you go. But yeah, so Randy Rosarina, I feel he had a 4 WAR. He is someone who's consistently solid. He sometimes falls in love with the home run ball a little bit. His swing gets a little bit too long. He has everything that you want in a superstar that you want to love. You know, he has the charisma, he has the pizzazz, he has the smile, he has a backstory, he plays with the fans. He's someone that you want to hate so bad, but yet you love him so much. And yeah, when he got traded by the Rays, real quick, in Randy Rosarina's story, he sat in the outfield. Okay, he didn't go report to his team. He sat for almost the whole game in the outfield. He bought a ticket with his wife. Okay, and he hung out with the fans. He signed autographs. He was rooting for the Rays. You know, I mean, who does that? Randy Rosarina does. So yeah, he is somebody who I so proudly wear his shirtsy. Even though I usually have a rule like a breakup. If you're no longer on the team, I don't mention you until I have a good cry. Some more than others. So, but Randy Rosarina had my cry, and I still wear his jersey proud. I wear it more than Evan Longoria, which I still listen to sad emo rock and miss him. So Randy Rosarina is number 4. Who you got number 4, buddy?
So I will say this about Randy. He was very close to making my list. He did not make my top 10.
Okay.
It was a tough thing to leave him off in the battle between him and Taylor Ward. I like the power profile a little bit more of Ward and what he's able to do defensively over what Randy does. But it was a very close battle, I will say that. So he did just miss my list. Coming in at number 4 for me is James Wood of the Washington Nationals.
Okay.
I think that what this young man is capable of is going to be a very, very interesting thing to watch as he continues to grow and mature in this game. What he is capable of doing from a power potential is impressive. I think that Washington's going to be a very interesting team to watch because of the young players that they have in that lineup. And I think that how Wood goes in that lineup is how the team is going to go. I think that lineup is going to be really built and focused on him, and what he is going to be able to provide that team, I think, is going to be the next superstar coming out of DC. And that's a powerful potential statement to make. But I think that James Wood could be a very intriguing star in our game in the next coming couple of years. And I think this year is where we really start to see that next step being taken.
Yeah, and considering that he's in his 60s and he's an amazing actor, and now he's just picking up the bat and joining the Washington Nationals is amazing. Yeah, you're welcome. Sorry, I went for the low-hanging fruit on that one. Sorry, no. James Wood, he's another guy. He just missed my list. One of the things that was not a good endorsement of him is the fact that the Washington Nationals had such a low fielding percentage for left fielders. So for me to put you in the best left fielders now, you have to at least have a strong or decent fielding percentage that helps influence your team's performance. So that was my whole thing. That's my whole kink, if you will. And for him, I do admire him. A lot of good in his game. I remember when he played the Rays last season, he was somebody that you definitely took notice of. And to see him as he evolved, definitely very good. The Nationals are going to have a little bit of tough sledding, especially as the Marlins are looking a little bit tougher. And if you take a look at what's under the hood for Marlins with their minor league system, they might be on the verge sooner rather than later to really implode or explode. Maybe implode, who knows? Maybe it wasn't a slip, but then you got the Phillies, you got the of course the Braves and the Mets. So it's not quite the AL East here, but it is something to be looking at. So whether or not they'll build on that or they'll just get used to just selling off the guys because they can't make any sort of impact on the playoffs for about a few years because of how good the other teams are, it's hard to say. But maybe that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, James Woods, good choice, man. So now we're off to number 3, or top 3. Here we go. So if you've been paying attention, I believe I've been saying, well, that guy's going to show up a little bit later. So some of the guys have already been mentioned, but one hasn't yet. So we'll see if he's on yours. But I got number 3, Mr. Stephen Kwan. And Mr. Stephen Kwan, so the Guardians weren't on the top 10. I know we keep on coming back to this for fielding percentage for the majors. So that at first was kind of a negative, but the Angels were. Well, the Angels were on the top 10 because of Taylor Ward. So then I was searching for who was a strongest candidate who really stood out and passed sniff test and also had strong WAR. I went to Mr. Stephen Kwan. It surprised me because he had a 3.7 WAR, I believe, B WAR, baseball reference WAR. Don't yell at me, sabermetricians out there. So Stephen Kwan had a 3.7 WAR, and he's everything that you want in a ball player. He reminds me a lot of Chu. He has a similar game to that where he's so good at many different fields. He's an all-around gamer. We were talking before we started our telecast, or this broadcast, about best all-time left fielders. He has a similar game or profile to Gardner in many ways, where he just does a lot of things very well. Russ Seeger is another guy that I threw out there. So Brent Gardner, Rusty Greer, and Stephen Kwan, I believe, are right in the same vein and all very strong. So Stephen Kwan is my number 3. Who you got, bud?
Yeah, no, it's a strong pick there. For my number 3, you kind of mentioned his team, but it's Kyle Stowers of the Miami Marlins. I think that when you look at what he is capable of, I think the Marlins got the significant better end of the deal when they acquired him from Baltimore. I don't think Baltimore realized what they were letting go, comparison to some of the guys that they held on to. But when you look at what he is capable of, he had a breakout season in 2025, and I think that 2026 is just going to be another step in that maturation process. When you look at, as you said, the underlying numbers of kind of what the Marlins are doing, what they have in that farm system, I think that this is going to be the guy that kind of leads them into that next postseason run. I'm not saying that 20 is going to be run. I think that they still have a hefty hill to climb, especially in that National League East and the National League as a whole. But I think what he is capable of providing the Marlins is going to be a guy that they build their lineup around. And I really like what his skill set is and how his game played out last year. And I'm excited to see more of what can come from Stowers in 2026. Yeah,
Stowers is someone who is... He didn't make my list, but he's someone to take notice of. And it's really a shame. We got a lot of great representation here at Baseball Banter Broadcast, but it's really a shame that we don't have a admin to represent the Marlins or the Orioles to really talk about and grieve that. But can you tell us a little bit more information on how we could?
Well, there's a very simple way to do so. Reach out. When you reach out to us here at the Baseball Banter Broadcast, there may be a place for you to help join the team to cover your favorite squad and to be able to be a part of these discussions and to be able to potentially relive or not so well relive the trades that have gone down in the Major League history and in the past year. And you can also help us kind of go through and be able to highlight your favorite team. So if you are interested, definitely reach out to us. You can find us on any of these social media platforms as well as here on YouTube. So definitely hit us up if you are interested in joining the squad.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for that wonderful unplanned plug. Absolutely. But number 2, you brought it up earlier, and Tyler Soderstrom. He is I didn't realize how good he was. I remember him being very annoying, and I'm starting to really like what the asses are doing. I say that very, very strong. I think I'm going to start calling the pending patent the patent pending A's, because they can't get the rights to the Sacramento A's or Athletics or the Las Vegas, so they are the patent pending A's. The double P's, the PPAs. There you go, the Pops. There you go. Yeah. So if you're checking your bingo card, how many times did I get the killing smalls? Go ahead and fill that out. You're welcome. But Soderstrom is, he's sound all the way around. Now, what's interesting about the they had the second best fielding percentage in all of the major leagues. So it would not surprise me at all if they really push the envelope in 2026. Hopefully we won't have the lockout, because they could be on the brink of maybe meeting the A's in the ALCS maybe in 2027 or 2028. But hopefully we don't have a lockout, so that would be really nice, and we don't have to worry about that. You're welcome. Yep, I said it, I meant it, and I'm not taking it back. But yeah, Soderstrom is very good. Someone who is annoyingly good. 4.6 WAR, I believe he had. I could be wrong on that, but I really started to admire just what he was doing. So Soderstrom's number 2. I know you had him much higher. I'm thinking about who's the best now. So in terms of the other older guys, they're very strong. You have to be very strong for me to put you in my list, like we've seen in other lists, such as Lindor, who I had number 2. Also Ramirez, Jose Ramirez at third base. I couldn't deny him, but the other guys we can deny, because the other 2, including Soderstrom, they're so young, so fresh, and so clean. So they really are doing a lot of wonders. Who do you got at number 2? You're welcome.
So at number 2, I have Wyatt Langford of the Texas Rangers. I think the Rangers are going to be one of the most interesting teams to watch in 2026. I think, we've seen them make some moves. They picked up Mackenzie Gore not too long ago at the time of this recording. But when you look at what they have with that young core of Wyatt Langford, Evan Carter, I think that there are going to be some very, very interesting pieces.
Yeah.
For me, if Langford can stay healthy, and that's obviously the biggest factor for him, I think this is a guy who could really show out in a big way in 2026. I think that when you look at, obviously the AL West is looking like it's the Mariners to lose. But I think if the Rangers can get that next level, that second phase of maturation from, Langford, from Carter, a healthy season out of Corey Seager, kind of with the moves that they've been making this offseason, I think this could be a very, very interesting team to pay attention to and to watch going forward. And I think Langford could be the guy that really takes that next step and helps them kind of push back and get back to the postseason.
Yeah, I think Langford is a great choice at number 2. I wonder if he makes another appearance coming up. All right, so number 1, I have Mr. Wyatt Langford, of course, and his 775 OPS. He's 23. He is part of the third best fielding percentage. I know we keep on going back to this, but if we're talking about left fielders, we got to talk about everybody as a whole. Third best fielding percentage in all the major leagues is your Texas Rangers. I mean, he is annoyingly good. He is somebody who I wish my team had, and I'm probably certain that maybe about 27 other teams are probably saying the same thing, and the other 3 are in denial, to be frank with you. So no, we're good. Okay, whatever, you're in denial, that's cool. But so very good, very strong, a lot of great things to say about Wyatt Langford. We'll see if it can continue, because is he going to be another Hank Blaylock? Is he going to be another guy who has a lot of potential and then he just kind of fizzles out? We'll see. So Wyatt Langford, you're my number 1. I believe in you. Who do you guys are number 1?
Yeah, so I have number 1 is a young player who got a big contract extension after very, very pretty much no time in the major leagues. But it's Roman Anthony of the Boston Red Sox. I think that this is going to be a guy who, as long as he can remain healthy, is going to be a thorn in the side of every team in the
Mhm.
AL East. I think that this is going to be a guy who can push forward to the next level and be a potential
Mhm.
MVP candidate. I think very highly of his skill set and of his capabilities. It's going to be interesting to see how the Red Sox kind of
Okay.
employ him this offseason, this upcoming season. They have a lot of outfielders right now on that team.
Mhm.
Obviously we mentioned earlier, Jaron Duran, being shopped around potentially. There's an opportunity there for him to get moved into having Ben Anthony playing every single day. This is a guy who I think Boston needs to have in the lineup
Mhm.
every single day. They have a ton of young talent in that outfield. Wilyer Abreu, Cedon Rafaela, Duran still is a relatively young player, and Roman Anthony, who's a guy that they invested in heavily, the Boston
Mhm.
Red Sox. So for me, Roman Anthony is number one right now. I think that what he's going to be capable of doing is really going to make people take notice and be kind of fearful of the potential Roman Empire that's coming from Boston.
Yeah. This is going to be a Roman crime here in a second. But no, number one, I love his first name. Anybody that has that name really does carry a lot of wit. Probably extremely handsome, like annoyingly handsome. Uh, it's okay. Those people are in denial, but that's fine. So yeah, in terms of him being in my top 10, he didn't sniff it because I didn't consider him a left fielder, and nothing against your choice, of course. I would have put Duran more in that mix, but obviously with the Japanese import or export, no, import. Thank you very much. I had it right the first time. He's probably going to be seeing a lot more left field, which is sad to waste because the left field there. I mean, same thing with the right field. It can be a bit of a zoo in terms of trying to go back, and then the short wall and other things like that. It's just such a charm of a ballpark. I really do love it. I really do. I am definitely not making any friends whatsoever in Boston. But apparently I picked some up in Philadelphia, so you're welcome. If you guys follow the channel, but no. But in terms of what Anthony does, he is an amazing talent, and I saw a lot of his games in the minor leagues, thanks to the MILB package. Just seeing what the rivals are doing, how they're looking, things like that, and he was very impressive. So. We'll see. We'll see where it goes, and definitely a sharp choice. Definitely a lot to build on. We'll see if their young talent has the same joy that the Orioles' young talent had last year, where they hit rock bottom very quickly because pitching caught up, and that's one of the things and the factors that could be to maybe make people take a step back and realize that maybe it's going to be more of a tougher division this year than last year for the Boston Red Sox. But Roman Anthony has a lot of upside. I wish him the best, and I really wish his name was Bob Anthony, so that way I can give him a little bit more hate. But Roman Anthony, yeah, beautiful name, and a lot of talent, and best luck to the young man.
Yeah, I think it's very easy for us being fans of the AL East to say that it will be undoubtedly the toughest division in baseball.
Oh yeah.
I also don't believe that it's a stretch or a homer take for our division to say such a thing. When you look around the AL East, it's a tough battle, and it's not without lack of effort from all of us here. As we mentioned, basically every single left fielder in the AL East between our two lists. So.
Yeah, pretty much. And you know what? But the talent's there, and it's not just the AOEs. This was a pretty interesting list where you and we got together. I've had the privilege of getting together on 4 of these lists. The catchers was very hard to do. And you guys brought it up in Bronx Muchachos with yes, you're welcome. 3rd time, I promise I'm not being sponsored, about just the catching depth as a whole and how that affected your guys' Yankees. Yeah, see, I watch, I pay attention. Go figure. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But the left fielders, this was a lot of fun because you got to see kind of the old guard and the new guard coming across, and
Yep.
even a transitional champion come back to Riley Green. You know, but we'll see where that goes, and yeah. So, what are your overall thoughts? You want to put a bow on the left fielders, my friend?
Yeah, I think that it's, as you said, I think this was an interesting list because when you look at what this position is, it's always been kind of an anomaly of a position, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's at some points looked at as a power position. At some points, it's looked at as a defensive position. Sometimes you kind of just stick the guy that has no arm out there. There's a lot of different things that, as you said at the very top of this episode, kind of coming out of left field and the connotations that comes with. Yeah. So it's definitely an interesting list, and I think that this year, more than a lot of the recent years, there's a lot more room for debate as to where guys should slot in. Yeah. So I think that's what makes doing this listing, these rankings each and every single year is so entertaining and so fun, and mm-hmm. a difficult exercise as well, because it is something that especially when you look back from year to year and you start to keep track of the list that you've made, right? Because I've been doing this for quite some time now with keeping track of these lists. And you see, there's some guys that kind of carry over from year to year, and then you have some guys that are completely just brand new, and you've never heard their name on the list before. So it becomes a very fun exercise to compete in, and I challenge fans out there. I challenge baseball fans out there that are watching these lists to make your own list, to figure out, sometimes putting your personal bias away and trying to actually come up with who you believe are the 10 best at each position heading into this upcoming 2026 campaign, and see just how difficult of a list it truly is to put together. So I definitely want to encourage you to do so. Let us know that down in the comment section below, what your top 10 lists look like. Where do you agree with our list? Where do you disagree? Who makes your list that did not make either of ours? It's always an interesting time to be able to discuss that with you guys as baseball fans, as we are as well. And being able to kind of have those conversations can be a very fun and enjoyable time. So we definitely want to thank you guys for joining us here. As you're down there leaving a comment as to who makes your list, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, as well as the bell for post notifications, as each and every time you do that, you are able to be receiving the notifications as to every time we drop new content. As Rome mentioned, we have the Bronx Muchachos show, we have Northrop on the North Side, we have these different top 10 series, we have different series that are incoming on the channel, as we have over the years done our State of the Franchise, which is impending. So you're definitely not going to want to miss anything that we have going on, not to mention some new things that we have coming for the regular season itself. So you're definitely going to keep it locked in, and hitting the subscribe button and the bell is the best way to be notified each and every time we drop new content. So I want to thank you, Rome, for joining me here on this video, and we'd like to thank you guys for joining us as well, and we'll catch you on the next video. Peace.